All right, Landon, we're going to take a look at your writing that you did yesterday, remember?
Yeah.
And we were going to talk about, imagine that you have a pet monster. What would your pet monster look like? Where would your pet monster sleep? And what would your pet monster eat? And then you got to draw your monster. So let's look and see, Landon, if you did all of the things that you were supposed to do. You ready? Okay, I want you to read for me.
My pet.
Remember that word? Werewolf.
Werewolf.
Would
look like a hairy monster.
Good. So I can see that in your writing you told what would your pet monster look like. You sure did. Great job there. Now let's see if you told where would your pet monster sleep. Okay, let's see.
My pet monster would sleep on outside on a tree.
So did you tell where your pet monster is going to sleep? You did. So you've done two things. Let's see if you did the third one. What would your pet monster eat? Here we go.
My pet monster would eat.
Do you remember what that word was? It was a hard one. We had to sound it out. Do you remember? Anything. Anything. So did you tell what your pet monster would eat? Did you tell that? You did. So you did all three things that you were supposed to do in your writing. Now I have one question for you, though, when you work on your writing, because you're going to go back and improve it a little bit. I want to know, I know that your pet werewolf is a hairy monster, but I'm kind of thinking, what does his face look like? So when you closed your eyes and you imagined your monster, what did his face look like? Any ideas?
Like a real wolf.
Like a wolf? How do you know something is a wolf? Can you tell me something maybe about his eyes or about his mouth? What would a wolf have? What makes a wolf look like a wolf? That's a good question, huh? It is kind of hard. You're a little nervous too. That's okay. What about with wolves and their teeth? Is there anything that you could think about what wolves would look like? Oh, you drew it. So what did you draw? His teeth.
Sharp teeth.
Sharp teeth. So I think if you went back and told just a little bit, my pet werewolf would look like a hairy monster and have, say it really loud, what is it?
Sharp teeth.
Sharp teeth. Wouldn't that give a better image when the reader reads that?
Yeah, but
I'm going to show you where you can put it, because you're right, there's nowhere to put it, is there? But guess what? Because this is a rough draft, you can put it right here. You can write it right where I highlighted in yellow, and you can add that in. Does that sound great? Okay, and so you're going to go and do that now, okay? Okay, Kara, we're going to talk about your writing assignment that you did yesterday and see how you did, okay? Let's look at what the assignment said we had to do, okay? Imagine that you have a pet monster. And remember, we closed our eyes and we imagined our monster. Do you remember what yours looked like in your head? It said, what would your pet monster look like? Remember, we put those little codes so we can remember what those words were. Where would your pet monster sleep? And what would your pet monster eat? And then you got to draw your monster. Now we're going to read through your sentences and we're going to see if you told what your monster looked like, where it's going to sleep, and what it would eat. You ready to look and see? Okay, here we go. Can you read for me and let's see?
My monster, he would look like this.
He would look like this. Did you tell what your pet monster looks like? Or did you draw a picture to show instead?
I drew a picture.
You did. So did you tell what your pet monster would look like? Did you tell it in your writing? No. Do you think that might be something you want to go back and fix? So that you can tell me what your monster looks like? What did your monster look like? Describe him to me. I could see a picture of him. Tell me what he looks like.
A circle, and an eye.
He only has one eye? Oh, wow,
Just
that's
like
neat.
monsters in ink.
Ooh, what color is he?
Green.
Green. So when you go back and fix, you could say, my monster looks like what? He has
One eyeball.
and he is
Green.
green. And that's all I want you to work on right now. And I know that there's not really anywhere here for you to put that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight right here because that's where you can write in your writing. And I want you to tell me in your writing, what does your pet monster look like? And you already told it to me and you did a very nice job drawing your monster. So I know you can do a great job describing him. Sound good? Okay. Okay. So Michelle, we're going to look back at the writing that we did yesterday. Remember, we closed our eyes and we imagined that we saw a pet monster. Remember, do you remember what yours looked like in your head? So we're going to look today to see how our writing turned out that we did. And we're going to read and see what was the assignment we were supposed to do. Imagine that you have a pet.
House.
What is that word? Monster. Yes, imagine you have a pet monster. What would your pet monster look like? Remember, we drew the eyeballs so we would remember to write what it looked like. Where would your pet monster sleep? What would your pet monster eat? And then when you got done, you drew your monster, right? Okay, let's read through and we're going to check to see, did you tell what your monster looks like? Did you tell where your monster sleeps? And did you tell what your monster eats? You ready to look and see? Okay, here we go. You're going to read for me.
My cat's monster would look like a mouse.
Oh, let's stop. Did you tell what it looked like? It would look like a
mouse.
So you did that. You told exactly what it was going to look like. It's going to look like a mouse. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we told where your monster is going to sleep. Let's see if you did it.
It would sleep in a cage.
Did you tell where your monster is going to sleep? You did. So you've done two. You ready to check on that third one and see if you told what your monster is going to eat? Sure, here we go.
My cat's monster eats cans.
Eats cans. That's funny, isn't it? Your monster eats cans. But you did tell what your monster eats, right? And I really like that you drew your picture. And I see that you did exactly what it said to do. Draw your monster. Now I'm looking back through your writing and I see that you did all the three things. But Michelle, your writing is so wonderful. I bet you could even add a little bit more, couldn't you? Where would we add something? Do you have any idea where you might want to add something? What would you tell more about? Would you want to tell more about what the monster looks like? More about where the monster sleeps? Or more about what the monster eats? Oh, yeah, because you really liked that part. So let's read it again, and you give me some ideas about what you think you could write.
My cat's monster eats cans.
And what do you want to add to that? Are you going to tell what kind of cans? Cans of what? What do you think you're going to add?
Cans of chocolate.
Cans of chocolate? That'd be a good monster. That'd be a monster like me. I like chocolate too. So all you're going to do, I'm going to give you a little highlight here. And you can use this line down here to go back and add in that one little detail. That's really going to help your reader when they read this. It's going to give them some more details. So you eat cans of chocolate. I like that. That's a great idea. You can go and do that. Thank you. Sam, we're going to take a look at your writing that you did yesterday. See how you did, okay? Ready? let's look at what the assignment asked us to do. It said, imagine that you have a pet monster. And you close your eyes and you imagined a monster. Do you remember what it looked like in your head? Do you remember that? You want to close your eyes and think about it again? Close your eyes for just a second and see if you can picture your monster in your head. Remember the one that you pictured yesterday? You even drew a picture? You got him in your head now? Okay, good. And then we said, what would your pet monster
look like?
And we wanted to know, where would your pet monster
sleep?
And what would your pet monster
eat?
And then last you had to draw your monster. And you did a wonderful illustration of your monster over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to check to see if we did all 3 of those things in your writing. You ready to check? Okay, I'm going to help you if you get stuck on some words, because I remember this word especially got us really tricky, didn't it? So here we go.
My monster looks like...
Do you remember what that word was? You sounded it out and it took a lot. Angry eyes. Did you tell what your monster looks like? Does the sentence tell what your monster looks like? It does. It tells that he has angry eyes. And so when we read that, the reader can say, oh, I know what he looks like because I know he has angry eyes. Okay, we've got one. And you did a fabulous job. Let's see how you did on where does your monster sleep. Here we go.
My monster sleeps in a
cage. So did you tell where your monster sleeps? Right, you did. And that made your writing really interesting because you told where the monster sleeps. So now you've done 2. Let's check and see if you did what does your monster eat. Okay, here we go.
My monster eats anything.
Anything. Your monster will eat anything. And so you did tell what your monster would eat, didn't you? So you did all 3 things correctly. Now, Sam, you are such a good writer. And your writing is so interesting. I bet you could add even another detail to your writing. What do we want to write more about? Would you like to write more about what your pet monster looks like? More about where he sleeps, or more about what he eats?
What he looks like.
What he looks like. All right, tell me some more about that monster. I know he has angry eyes because you wrote it. You did a fabulous job there. What else do you know about your monster? What else does he look like?
Angry teeth.
Ooh, angry teeth. Anything else you could think of that you can add about your monster? Could you tell anything about his body or anything about what color he is?
He's green.
He's green. So my monster has angry eyes. What did you say to add to that? About his teeth.
And he has angry teeth.
And he is
green.
Oh, that is so awesome. When you add that, it's really going to make your writing more interesting. So I'm going to highlight this line right here because I don't want you to really erase and rewrite all that. I just want you to go and right here add in your little extra sentences about what your monster looks like, about his angry teeth and his green. Sound like a good plan? All right, thanks, Sam. There you go. Thank you.